Eclipsed Headquarters is a tier 3 dungeon with a unique loot table that resides beneath Noxmoor. It is currently the final part of the Emerald quest, with 5 locations preceding it. Those locations are Fort Z, Fort Erie, Alchemical Lab, Serpent's Hold, and Excavation Site. This video is going to go through each location in detail and how to obtain the 5 shards from these locations in order to open Eclipsed Headquarters and obtain the heal bow and emerald geode from its loot room. The Emerald quest is a questline in MineZ which involves collecting 5 emerald shards from 5 different locations. 2 of them are available in the location itself, whilst the other 3 are in instances inside other locations. Once you collect all 5 individual shards, you must head to Noxmoor and individually place all 5 on the chiseled stone brick. Once that is done, a lightning bolt will strike and one of the tombstones will suddenly turn into a portal. Run into the portal and you will be transported to the past, when Eclipsed Headquarters still remained. From there, you'll beat the dungeon and be awarded the heal bow and the emerald geode. One of the 2 rewards is incredibly useful, whilst the other is actually useless, but still cool nonetheless. The heal bow deals no damage upon a shot, but instead restores 3 hearts to the player who was shot, at the cost of 3 arrows and some durability. You can immediately see usefulness in this item, as it can save on potions, make arrows more useful, and you can heal people from distances apart. You can even use it on yourself by shooting in the air above you. On the other hand, we have the emerald geode. The emerald geode is supposed to be a key item that you would need for another dungeon of some sorts, but currently that dungeon does not exist. Therefore, as of now, this item is basically useless. Each shard has their own requirements you must match in order to obtain them, so let's go through what those requirements would look like. From this part forward, I'm going to assign each shard a number, instead of referring to which location they came from, just so it doesn't get too repetitive. Shard 1 is for Alchemical Lab, Shard 2 is for Serpent's Hold, Shard 3 is for Fort Erie, Shard 4 is for Fort Z, and Shard 5 is for Excavation Site. These shards are ordered in the way that my route would collect them, which I will go into detail about later. Shard 1's requirements is just food. You'll be doing a lot of running in that dungeon, so grabbing 3 to 4 food items of good quality, like fish, pie, or bread, will be enough. Shard 2's requirement is a Smite 3 sword in order to start the dungeon. You can enter the instance, you just can't do anything until you place down the Smite 3 sword. Smite 3 swords can be found in military epics and mythics. Luckily, Medusa Lake, the location that contains Serpent's Hold, has a lot of epics and mythics. Shard 3's requirement is a little bit of parkour knowledge and puzzle solving. It just involves going to the Fort Erie basement, pushing some levers and moving some boxes so you can enter the jail cell that contains the shard. Shard 4's requirements is nothing. You can just walk straight into Fort Z and grab the shard in the tent. Shard 5's requirements is 4 full durability iron shovels. This is because you need to use these shovels to turn them into reinforced iron shovels, which is how you are able to dig an excavation site to find the shard. Potions and lone swords will be incredibly useful in this dungeon. Because of the way the digging mechanic works, you have to dig directly on top of the digging site. These dig sites have a chance to spawn zombies, revenants, and even pigmen. Therefore, taking a lot of damage is essentially impossible to avoid. Unfortunately, you cannot leave the instance to grab more potions, as that will reset the dig sites and you will lose all your progress as well as all the shovels that you turn into reinforced iron shovels, as those are instance restricted items. You need 4 shovels because there are 4 major dig sites, and each shovel can only dig 1 entire dig site. If you don't bring 4, you may end up not getting the shard on those first 3 major dig sites, which means you'll have wasted all your resources. My tip is to turn only 1 shovel into its reinforced variant, because if you get lucky and get the shard on your first dig site, you will be able to keep the other 3 shovels that you have for another shard. Now, you may be wondering, what would a route from spawn to completing the quest look like? Well, this is, in my opinion, the fastest, most efficient route to getting all 5 shards from Meridian with none of the required items already obtained. Start at Kami, go around the whole town once and grab every food chest. Head back to Meridian from the spawn boat and then go to Pravis. You can run up the ice road northeast of Pravis to reach MineZ 10th. Grabbing a lone sword is a good idea for Excavation Site, and it is also a very helpful legendary in general. Once you beat MineZ, go to the exit. This will put you north of the mountain, just south of Polister. Go straight east until you reach Whitehaven. Whitehaven has a lot of food chests, as well as some civilian and tool chests in the cave, which is useful for obtaining more food to run, as well as snowballs and potentially some iron shovels too. After that, you need to go into the cave system. The fastest way into the cave system from Whitehaven is Ravine. You can head to the eastern side of Ravine, which has a scary jump, but will take you into the cave system nonetheless. Head to Cirrus, go to Alchemical Lab with the food you got from Whitehaven and get the shard. Then, go to Medusa Lake, find a Smite 3 and obtain that shard too. Alton has an incredibly large amount of tool chests as well as a potion chest. You can stay here at Alton for a while until you have the 4 full durability shovels. Using the potion chest to refill on potions is also a good idea. If you find a crowbar or a button while at Alton, you can keep it and go to Aetherion, which contains a button room filled with food chests. This can be used if you need to restock on food. Go back to Cirrus, take its surface exit, and then go to Fort Erie. Obtain that shard, then head north to Fort Z and obtain the 4th shard. Finally, you can go to Excavation Site and obtain the 5th and final shard, which is just south of Noxmoor. Obviously, it is not as simple as that, so I'm going to show you how to do the questline. Instead of showing the entire route, which would take too long, I'm going to show you how to complete the 3 instance-related shards, as well as Eclipsed Headquarters itself. These are the 4 most complicated parts of the quest, so having a tutorial on how to do all of them should be helpful. I hope you enjoy, and I hope the next segments of the video can help you to obtain your own heal bow. Okay, and we are at our first instance-related shard. This is the shard for Alchemical Lab, but the shard will actually say it's from Cirrus. But anyway, we're just gonna go. So this dungeon is actually quite simple, although it's kind of a chore simulator. So this first area is actually the tutorial section, which actually teaches you the mechanics. So we're going to grab this coal, throw it into the furnace, get this sludge cluster, and we're going to process the slime. Throw the slime ball into the pressure boiler to boil it, which means that we'll get a gut sack, and then we'll use that gut sack in a second over there. So let's get the gut sack, here we go. And we're going to process it. And now we have some caustic bile, and then we're going to bring it over here. Throw it here to destroy the rock. Stand on this little pipe thing, and then we can go through this big pipe. And now we're actually in the main area, so what we're going to do first is we're actually going to put some items away, because you're going to need a lot of coal and a lot of slime. So we might as well just put some stuff away that we're not going to need. There's no zombies. There's not really any danger, except the only thing that you're going to need is food, because of the fuel, you're going to need to keep refueling it quite often, so you're going to be running around quite a lot, so you're going to want to bring some food. Everything else, though, you can just throw it in here, which is what we're going to do right now. So you get rid of all that. We're going to keep the lone sword, actually, because I do like the lone sword. Now, before we can get the coal and the slime, we need to take this bottle, and we're going to throw it over here. There you go. That's the brewing process to make the acid vial. So outside this little area, there is a statue holding the first shard. And we're going to need to make an acid vial using 3 caustic vials, 3 gut sacks, 3 slime balls, and then all that together, and we'll get the acid vial. And then we need to throw it on the statue to dissolve the statue, and then we'll be able to actually get the shard. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need 9 slime. Because to make a caustic bile and a gut sack, you're going to need slime from the first place. So we're going to grab 9, because you need 9 items total. So we're actually going to grab 5 sludge clusters. I grabbed 6 by accident, because you get 2 from each. So we'll have 10, and then we'll have a spare 1. Now for the coal, if you do it the way I'm about to do it, I think you can manage the whole dungeon, or the instance, I'm calling it a dungeon. You can manage the whole thing with about 10 or 11 stacks of coal. So we're going to grab 11, just to be safe. There you go, that's 11, so that's all the coal that we're going to need. And before we throw any coal into the furnace, or the boiler, we're going to take these sludge clusters and boil them. Well, not boil them, process them to get the slime balls. And we can throw out the spare 1, but we're actually going to keep the rest. Okay, so now what we can do first is put the boiler onto, get some fuel in the boiler. So this boiler actually has some health, as you can see right here. Now, if you put all 5 of your coal into one of the boiler or one of the furnaces, if you get it to 5, what will happen is the boiler will take damage. And let's say, like some of these like corners here on the pipes, they'll actually burst. So what can happen if you fail the first time is this pipe here is going to burst, something here is going to burst. So you actually won't be able to travel through here. You have to go all the way around, which would of course take more time. So the way you can fix that is by only throwing 4 coal. So we're actually going to do that right here. We're just going to throw 4. You can't drop them all at once, because otherwise they'll stack and it won't work. So we're going to throw all off coal in each one, and now we have to wait for the pressure build to gauge up, and then we can use that. But first, we're actually going to throw the 3 slime balls here to get those ingredients done. And we need to turn all of these into gut sacks, and then 3 of them into caustic vials, and then we'll have everything we need. So we're going to keep going, keep refueling boiler, keep restacking on coal. I think that's about to, okay, we're actually going to just be safe. we're gonna go back. Okay, we're gonna step on it. I'm gonna go up these stairs, immediately take a left, and then we need to throw this into the pressure boiler. So like that. Gonna move the slime ball here. Now we're gonna wait. Of course, as soon as we get this gut sack, we're gonna need to go straight back to the boiler and throw some more coal in. So we're gonna do that right after we get it. And that's on. Oh, hold on. Okay, that's good. That's good. And now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do something interesting. This is what I've learned over time by doing this instance thing. We're gonna actually throw the slime ball into the pressure boiler, and then we're gonna immediately go over here and throw the gut sack that we now have, and we're gonna process it. So this is a little puzzle. Just flick all the levers. Do it quite quickly. And now we have our first caustic bile, and now we have a gut sack. So we're going to go back to the boiler. We're going to try and keep it alive. I don't know the punishment if you fail to keep the furnaces on. I actually don't know what the punishment is, so let's not find out. Step on it again, and we're going to do the same process again. We need to do this 3 times. So we should do it again. Flick all the levers. It's a very loud noise, what I'm realizing. Very loud. That's our second caustic bile. And our second gut sack. Go back to the boiler. Throw some more coal down. Now we need to do this one more time. So we're actually going to step on the pressure little lever thing. I don't even know what that is. We'll do this again. Boil that slime ball. And we need to process this gut sack. And that is our third and last caustic bile that we need. Now we have another gut sack, but we need to keep this gut sack. And now we are going to, let me actually get some more coal out. And now we need to make some more gut sacks. Okay, I think that's all. Yeah, the boiler's alright. So just make 2 more gut sacks, and then we'll have every ingredient. Oil. Gonna get all the coal out, and I'm actually realizing that we don't actually need that much coal. You need like maybe, I think we had 11 stacks when we started, and we've used 7. So you can probably manage with about maybe 8 stacks, I think. Because we're actually going to refuel the boiler one more time. Yeah, boiler's good. Make 1 last gut sack. Took some full damage. There you go. And then that'll be the last ingredient we need. We actually need some food. So it turns out I didn't even need to eat that much food. Because I did this weird little strat where I'm pretty efficient. And don't spend that much time running around. Because I'm always multitasking, doing multiple things at once. Which would save time. So if you can follow the way I did it, you'll probably be able to do this little dungeon instance quite fast. So we're going to refuel the boiler again, just in case. We don't even need to do it. Once we have the gut sack here, we can just throw them all down. But we're going to throw them down one at a time, because I know it can bug. And sometimes it will just steal your item and not count it. And there you go, we're done. So the acid vial will spawn here on an armor stand. What you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to slowly go over to it and just right click. Don't spam click it. If you spam click it, you'll accidentally throw it. See, look, you can use it both as a little weapon. See, throw to make the ground be covered in acid, and it will make weapons and armor take heavy damage, and zombies will be permanently slowed. But we don't need it for that. We need it for the shard, which is right outside. And we're just going to drop the acid vial right here. And there you go, we have our first emerald shard that is, quote, obtained from Cirrus, even though it's technically obtained from Alchemical Lab. But Alchemical Lab is in Cirrus, so I guess it counts. But anyway, that is the first shard out of all 5. Okay, and our second dungeon is Serpent's Hold, which is located in Medusa Lake. So we're going to go into the instance. And we're just going to go over here. So the requirements for this dungeon is a Smite 3 Iron Sword. Now, as you can see, I have quite a few myself. And I also have the shard already. So I must have found quite a lot of Smite 3s. And you can get them from Medusa Lake, which is very close nearby. In fact, it even says I'm still in Medusa Lake. So, yeah, just grab a Smite 3 Iron Sword. Shouldn't take you too long. Just do a little bit of looting. And we're going to need to actually go into Serpent's Hold. So we're going to throw down my spare Smite 3. And now what that's going to do is that's going to allow the dungeon to start. So some particles are going to emit from that big snake statue. It's going to be like a kind of like a particle beam. Now if I move this flag when the thing comes back, what you're going to see is that when it touches the flag, it'll actually bounce off and move. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get this particle to touch the statue that's holding your shard. Now, the statue that's holding your shard is random. It could be any of the ones in here. So we're actually going to look around and see which guy has it. So it's this person. Okay. So we're going to need to use all the flags around us. This is quite a bit of a puzzle. It's quite difficult. I think it's not too difficult. It takes you a while to get the hang of, to understand. But eventually you'll figure it out. It shouldn't be too difficult. Of course, all the other statues have their own difficulties. So, for example, that person over there, it only requires one flag, and that's this one. But for the one that I have, it may require a bit more effort. And there you go. That is the second shard, well, a copy of the second shard, which you can obtain from Serpent's Hold, which is located in Medusa Lake. So that is the second shard out of the 5 that we need. The other 2 are Fort Z and Fort Erie. And then the final one that we're going to need is from Excavation Site. And here we are at the final place to get the final shard, Excavation Site. So we're going to go straight in. So the requirements for this dungeon are 4 full durability iron shovels. You're going to want 4 of them because there are 4 dig sites and each dig site can contain the shard. So you're going to want all 4 so you can dig all 4 of the dig sites to potentially get the shard. So the first thing I'm going to do here is actually turn one of my iron shovels into a reinforced iron shovel. That will be used to start digging. Now, here's a tip. Only use one shovel at a time. So keep the other shovels on you, because if you get the shard from, let's say, the first dig site down there, then you'll have the other 3. But for the reinforced iron shovels, they are dungeon items, which means that they will despawn out your inventory once you leave the instance. So you'll be able to keep your 3 other shovels if you don't turn them into reinforced ones. So just have one reinforced at a time. Okay, we're going to go down here, and we're going to start digging. Now, every time you dig, so let's dig this first block, you can get a random item, a random thing can happen. So you can get like glass bottles, bowls, mushrooms, gapples, golden carrots, speed pots, stuff like that. But what can also happen is you can have a zombie, pigman, or a revenant spawn on top of you. Now, if it's spawned on top of you, you'll obviously take damage, so that's the reason why I suggested you bring a lone sword and a lot of potions. Which means that if you get unlucky and have a lot of pigmen spawn, or revenants, then you'll be able to take as much damage as you want, and still be able to survive. Because obviously, if you run out of potions, or ways to heal yourself, and you need to keep digging, then you may have to leave the instance, because if something spawns on you, you're just gonna die, and you'll reset all your progress. So that's why you need a lot of potions, and some good gear. But we're going to keep digging here now. And let's hope that we get the shard relatively quickly. Now, when you have that spawn, get away from it. Just get away from it. If you're near it and it blows up, you'll get launched in the sky. And that will hurt quite a lot. Got a bowl. Zombie. Another little explosion. Reinforced iron leggings. Now this can be used as a substitute for iron armor. Because it's basically iron armor but just rusted. So if you combine it with another rusted piece, then you'll be able to make normal iron leggings, which will give you some good defense. So it's a good way to get iron from this place. So we're going to keep digging. That's a glass bottle. Rotten flesh. A diamond axe. Snowball. Rusted iron helmet. I'll use that to repair. And there you go. That was some good durability. Oh, and we got the shard on our first shovel. So, there you go, I got very lucky. Of course, you may get unlucky and it may take you quite a while. I'll show you where the other dig sites are, just so you know. So that's the first one. And there's the second one. And the third one is up here. And then the fourth one is right here. So of course, when you get the shard, you can just / log out, or you can leave through the instance and go back, and then you have to go to Noxmore, throw the shards down on the prismarine brick, and then you'll be able to do Eclipsed Headquarters. And we are now in Noxmore, and we have all 5 of the shards. We are ready to do Eclipsed Headquarters. So we're just going to right click and throw all the shards on this brick. And then what's going to happen is that's going to have some lightning strike, some particles are going to shoot out, and it's going to turn this block into a portal, and we're going to jump in. If you have multiple people, jump in one at a time, because if you all go in at once, the instance will break and some of you will get kicked. The portal will remain open for 30 seconds, so if you get kicked, you may have enough time to log back in and get back into the portal, which will allow you to get into the instance. If it closes, what you can do is call a support ticket, so you can have someone bring you in. But we're just gonna start doing the dungeon now. So you're gonna want to go into the Noxmore house, go all the way down into the basement, and to open the crypt, you'll need to type the code truth. So T R U T and H, truth. Crypt access granted. So we're actually going to go back to the graveyard. We're going to go over here. Oh, I'm getting some unfortunate lag, and the no cheat is absolutely horrendous. I'm going to go down here. You can see this just opened up. Now, in the game's lore, this is actually in the past. So there is no parkour content and no zombie content. This is completely a puzzle-related dungeon. So we're going to go all the way down this long corridor, and then we'll actually be in Eclipsed Headquarters. So we're going to go down these big stairs, and there you go, there's the title card. And the first thing we're going to do when we get to the bottom is to immediately take a left, because we're going to want to go up the stairs on the left. Because we need to go there to grab 2 items. One of them is a lab key, and the other one is a storage key. So here's the first little challenge. This guy is a little security guard and he's sleeping. So we're going to wait for him to wake up and some particles will appear. So if you cross this line while he's awake, what's going to happen is he's going to notice you. And if he notices you, what's going to happen is you're going to get sent to jail. So we're actually going to allow ourselves to get caught permanently. Hey buddy. He's asleep for quite a while. This is quite an easy first little challenge. Hello. Halt, you shouldn't be here. And there you go, we take 3 hearts of true damage, and now we're in the jail cell. So we're going to crouch through here, get this little refill. And now, you can get out of jail, but you do have to, it's quite a hard challenge, because you see this guy, he's kind of watching you. So you need to wait for him to look away. The particles are gone, we're just going to sneak past. And then when he turns to the right, we're going to go past him like that, and there you go, not too difficult. So we're going to go back into the main corridor. Now, over there, that's where the guy who was sleeping, he was over there. So, if you didn't get sent to jail, you can just walk along here, go into this room, and you're going to want some dry grain. We're going to grab one and loot this food chest, a mushroom. And we're going to want to go into this fireplace room. Now, we do want to go in there in a second, but there's currently a guy in there. So, if you try and walk in, he'll spot you. So, we're going to distract him by throwing the dry grain, which is very flammable, into the fire. And he's going to be like, oh, what was that noise? And he's going to walk past and try and investigate what's happening. So he walks past. We're going to run past him as he's going over there. Go into the room he was just in. Grab the lab key. And then we're going to run out. And you can see he's just gone into that room to see what happened. And we're going to go in here. Take a left into the cafeteria. Grab the key. And that's the first key out of 4 that we need. We need the lab key to get the other 3 keys. But we currently have one of the keys already. So now we're going to go back where we were, into the main area. Wait for him to take a nap and start sleeping. Walk past him. And this time we're going to go straight ahead, this time to the staircase on the right from where we came in. So we're going to run along this big room. It's quite a large dungeon, quite large. Jesus, very large building. Okay, anyway, we're going to go up these stairs. I'm going to throw the lab key into there, and this little decontamination area is going to open up. We're going to press the button, and then we'll have to do some decontamination. Luckily, there's no one here to spot us. And decontamination's over, door's gonna open. And now there are 3 puzzles that we need to do in order to complete the dungeon. So we're gonna show you all 3. In fact, I'm gonna do this one first. So this is the healing valve generation. We're gonna wanna press this button, and now there's gonna be a potion in there. And then what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to activate the potion, or generate the potion, by hitting this button when the slab is on the green. If you hit it on the red, it'll get withered 2 and take about 4.5 hearts of damage. This will apply to anyone who's in the room with you. So, of course, if everyone's in here, make sure they're on good health, otherwise they'll start taking a lot of damage. So we're actually going to do this. Now, as you can see, when it's at the top, it's actually much harder, because look, it doesn't go much further, so you need to press it quite quickly. So we're actually going to go do it now. Of course, if you're not from America, and you're away from the Shoppo server, which are quite a long distance away, they're going to have quite high ping, which will make this challenge a bit harder. In fact, I'm going to do it again, because it's at the top. Okay, that one's close to the bottom, that's quite easy. That's at the top again, that's really unfortunate. Now, as you can see on my screen, it looked like it was green. But of course, I was lagging, so I ended up failing, because I either did it too late, or a bit too early, who knows. I took the damage. I'll try that again. Okay, it's at the bottom now, which is much easier. Now to the top again. I don't know why the potion's not rendering. There should be a potion right there. Okay, keep going. Thank gosh, not the very top. I think one more will be done. Oh no, one more after that. And there you go, we're done. The door will open, and we can grab the second key out of four. And now we're going to do the second to last puzzle, which is a little like Rhythm Heaven kind of thing. It's like a rhythm game. Rhythm Heaven is a good game, but you kind of need to like press the keys. Well, it's not like Rhythm Heaven. You just need to press the buttons when the color's on the green. So you need to time it. Okay. So it's like Osumania, I guess, or some other rhythm game. I have no clue. But we're just gonna do it. Of course, with multiple people in even numbers, it'll be much easier because like one of you could take 2, and the other one could take the other 2. Or if you have 4, everyone could just take 1. So you can fail 3 of like the notes or like the blocks. If you don't hit the blocks on time, you can do it 3 times before you fail. If you fail, everyone in the room will take 3 hearts of true damage. So make sure oh, I missed that. Make sure everyone's on good health before you do this. Wait, no. Do this. Now, something's happening to those crystals. I have no idea what. Okay, I missed that one. If I fail it one more time, I'll actually take damage. Almost failed there. Let's hope that I can do this. Okay, we're almost done. 2 more. And there you go, we're done. This door's gonna open. And then you get a cool chest, civ chest. And then we get the 3rd key, which is found in the ceiling wing, so you can see like all these keys say where they're found. Anyway, we need 1 more, which is a gold key. And that will be found up here in the administration wing, up here. Now, this puzzle involves numbers. So what you're supposed to do, the intended way of doing this, is you go into this room, grab this book, and there'll be a bunch of rules. So you see, this personnel director's IC has one correctly placed number. So if we go over to where that room is, personnel director's IC, where's that? So yeah, this has one correctly placed number. So one of these numbers is 1 for the 3-digit code that we're going to need. And then of course there'll be other rules for the other codes. See, equipment and supply manager ICs have 1 correct number, but they are wrongly placed. This room has no correct numbers, and then this room has 2 correct numbers, but they are wrongly placed. So you're supposed to do a bunch of little figuring out, you're meant to think about it, but there's actually a trick to this room. So if you just go into this room, I'll actually get the name, the production overseer room, the number on the right is the first number, and the number on the left is the second number. So the current code is 32. We're going to type that in chat. And then we're going to go over to this room, the personnel director room. Now the number on the right is the 3rd number. So the code is 328. And I only figured that out by looking in 2 rooms. And I'll show you right now that it works. So 328 and code input accepted. So for the way this room is designed, there's unfortunately some limitations when it comes to implementing it in Minecraft. So it just ends up that just doing that trick, it works every time. I've done this in almost every run in Eclipsed Headquarters, and it's worked every time, as long as you actually do it right. So I'll explain it again. Number on the right is the first one, number on the left is the second one, and then in this room, the number on the right is the last number. So the code is 328. And we have all 4 keys, so we're going to go over here, go into the restricted access, and we're going to want to open the vault. So we're going to throw all the keys down. That's every key, and this vault door is going to open. Little cool animation. And now in this room, we can call for an elevator. This dungeon has elevators, which makes it my favorite, of course, because elevators are pretty cool. And after a run that lasted an hour and 44 minutes from spawn, we have now completed the entire Emerald quest, and we get our heal bow and Emerald Geode. So, yep, that's the Emerald quest. As I just said, it takes about an hour and 45 minutes to complete. Obviously, if you're doing this for the first time, it may take around 2 hours, but I did some quite efficient things, so of course I was able to do it quicker. Right from spawn with no gear before. So, not actually a very hard quest, and you get a very good item in return. The heal bow is one of the greatest legendaries, just because of the way that you can heal from arrows. It's absolutely great. Unfortunately, the Emerald Geode, it's kind of useless. You can wear it as a hat, which is kind of cool, and you can also, I guess, consider it a pet rock, like fucking SpongeBob. But yeah, that's the Emerald quest. These are the rewards that you get, and that's it.